This documentary film is about sustaining biodiversity, an ecosystem approach.
At the beginning of this new era, we hear many predictions. But making predictions is nothing new. Nevertheless, the one who make a system will crumble in pieces if we only take it for granted today.
This documentary film will show how the presence of trees in our ecosystem make a huge impact not only where we live, but how well we live.
November 8, 2013. Probably the most disastrous and traumatic day for many Filipinos. It was the day when the strongest typhoon, according to professionals, had hit the land of the Philippines. The government had prepared and warned the whole nation of the upcoming typhoon days before. But apparently, this preparation, for a lot of people, had been for naught, for billions of worth of properties have been left destroyed, and worse, thousands of lives have been taken.
Many people believe that prevention is always better than the cure. And if people want to prevent, then we should all look at the root cause of these problems. Professionals specializing in the field of environment and biology have seen to it that the receding forest and abused body of water are pointed out as two of these root causes. So how do we know the importance of biodiversity? To answer that, we went to an expert in protected areas and wildlife bureau in Quezon City.
Napaka-importante ng biodiversity kasi dito lahat nagmumula ang lahat. Masa food, masa medicine, sa mga industries, palaging tinitingnan ng biodiversity kasi ito yung basic. And when you say biodiversity, it's not just species, but this includes ecosystems. That's why we have the ecosystem, the forest ecosystem, the mangrove ecosystem, and there's also this genetic diversity. Tatlo yan species biodiversity, ecosystems biodiversity, and genetic biodiversity. So, kaya ang biodiversity, hindi lang yung species, hindi lang yung mga animals, organisms, everything. The habitat where they live is also biodiversity. And specifically, that's ecosystem.
Forests provide many ecological services such as supplying energy flow, chemical cycling, reducing soil erosion, absorbing and releasing water, purifying air and water, influencing local and regional climate, and absorbing atmospheric carbon and providing numerous wildlife habitats. And economic services such as fuel wood, pulp, lumber, grazing, mining, livestock, recreation, and jobs.
Due to these economic services, many people seek after this forest use to produce certain products. But how much do these cut down trees cost? A tree which we knew of as cheap and only cost a few bills is actually priceless, and unless this cost of ecological services are included to the production cost, the forest will continue to be degraded.
So, since ang biodiversity, for example, ay hindi lahat na iintindihan ng madla. Isa sa mga ginagawa namin ay yung in-strengthen namin ng IDs. In-explain namin kung ano yung biodiversity, ano ang kahalagahan nito. So those are just one of the programs that we do. Kasi importante yung yung malaman ng tao. Kung ano itong biodiversity. Kasi sasabihin namin ng tao na ano bang ibig sabihin yan sa aking kumakalabot siya.
May awareness.
Oo. Na kung lalong makalabot siya, kung yung pangangalanan ng biodiversity, kasi una-una, yung kapumukuha ng pagkain. Diba? So, kailangan ma-explore at saka kailangan mahikayat din ang publiko na bawat isa ay malulong sa atin. Hindi ko mas bata pa kayo, iatang niyo yung responsibilidad lahat sa gobyerno. Hindi kakayanin ng gobyerno yan. Kailangan ng operasyon ng lahat ng sektor, kabataan, mga ibang government agencies, yung mga non-government agencies, civil society, kailangan yan. And ang Biodiversity Management Bureau ay focused on getting the cooperation of all these sectors para maintindihan nila ang pangangalagaan ng biodiversity. There are also, of course, yung enforcement, hindi nawawala yan. Kailangan i-implement din yung mga ibang batas na patungkol sa pangangalaga ng biodiversity. Meron din yung researches, scientific researches, kasi patuloy dapat siya na hindi tayo na-stuck lang sa isang level ng pag-iintindi ang biodiversity. Kailangan umaangat din yung knowledge natin about this.
So why should we care about forests? Because they provide highly valuable ecological and economic services. Yay!
According to Michael L. Rezenzik, an ecologist, people should learn how to develop a new form of conservation biology, which is also called reconciliation energy, which focuses on inventing, establishing, and maintaining new habitats in places where people live, work, or play. In short, people should learn how to share the spaces we dominate with other species.
Join us as we explore Southern Luzon and see how our ecosystem changes over time.
So now, we're here in the middle of Southern Luzon Expressway, or formerly known as South Superhighway. It was also formerly called as President Sergio Osmeña City Superhighway, or Railroad E and Rail T.
But despite the pros we get from having this expressway, like swift transportation from one place to another, do we even wonder what its cons are? Nothing is worse for sensitive wildlife than a road. Over the last few decades, studies in a variety of terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems have demonstrated that many of the most pervasive threats to biological biodiversity, like habitat fragmentation, exotic species invasions, pollution, and overhunting, are aggravated by roads. It makes slopes more vulnerable to landslides and erosion, which in turn remove additional terrestrial wildlife habitat and degrade aquatic habitats.
So we're here now at Tagaytay Picnic Grove, one of the most sought after parks in the country.
The scenery here is very nostalgic, far from the city of Metro Manila, which is very unsightly.
Popularity is one of the biggest problems of many parks in the world. Many parks have become threatened islands of biodiversity surrounded by a sea of commercial development. According to researchers, parks in less developed countries have the greatest biodiversity of all parks in the world.
A number of parks also suffer damage from the migration or deliberate introduction of non-native species. Yet at the same time, native species, some of them threatened and endangered, are killed in or illegally removed from these parks.
Other than forests and grasslands, we also have our parks to sustain.
Why?
National parks also face a lot of environmental threats, just like forests and grasslands. And their national reserves only occupy a small portion of the world's land cover.
Specialists suggest that the best way to sustain these reserves is to create a worldwide network of protected areas, since only 12% of them are partially and strictly protected, while only less than 5% is strictly protected from invaders, meaning 95% of the land cover is of human use.
The Tagaytay, also known as the Sky Eye, is one of the tallest Ferris wheels in the country with a height of 207 feet, beating Moa Eye at 180 feet and the Enchanted Kingdom's Wheel of Feet at 130 feet.
It is one of the many places here in Tagaytay that is so popular that the developers of this area and the areas that surround it eradicates the natural features that make it attractive, especially the trees.
There are many causes of biodegradation. The most basic of these causes is that people don't give much value to ecological services that or they don't know what benefits the forest gives us. And because of that, they continue to cut down trees and forest covers. Another basic reason is the export demand for wood products and raw materials.
Poverty and rapid population growth are also some of the basic causes. For poverty-stricken people are pushed to the forest finals for survival, while rapid population growth increases poverty and the rise for wood demand.
With that thought, many people may have a change of hearts. And the question is, how do we manage and sustain our forests?
First is to emphasize economic value of ecological services. Since the real cost of trees are not fully understood by many people, we take the cheap prices of many products for granted. How much does a tree cost with all its ecological services? Priceless.
The second is to remove government subsidies. The government gives small business subsidies, and because of that, the real cost of many products in the market are cheaper, and thus again, taking its raw materials for granted.
Third is to protect all-growth forests. All-growth forests have more benefits than second-growth ones. Also, it is hard to regenerate forests. That is why we should just leave all-growth forests on its pure unharmed self.
Fourth is to harvest trees no faster that they are replenished. And fifth is education. Let people know about the benefits of forests and the harmful effects of degrading them.
Tree cutting can cause temporary or permanent removal of large expanses of forest for agriculture, settlements, or other uses. In layman's term, deforestation. According to the World Resources Institute, 46% of the original forest cover had been deforested in the past 8,000 years, and the majority of it had happened in the last 60 years.
November, malakas po ba yung bagyo Yolanda?
Malakas. Signal number 1 yun. Tapos yung mood ko sa niyo, sa aming pinaparadahan, tricycle, bumaksak. Hindi kumabot sa wire ng kurente. Ayun.
Wala
Tapos,
naman pong na-describe.
wala siya, wala. Yung mga kurente nila, mga cable ng telepono, landline, tsaka yung kurente na sa kurente sa bahay-bahay. kaya nag-blackout lahat.
Ilang linggo po nag-blackout dito?
Siguro mga isang linggo.
6 is to reduce the demand of harvested trees. People should be encouraged to use wood substitutes like bamboo. Also, since paper are made from trees, substitutes should also be used like fiber that does not come from trees. As we have mentioned, prevention is always and forever be better than cure. But in cases that prevention cannot be used, there is still a restoration. So let us all together plant trees.
Forest, the planet also boasts of its vast grasslands. But most of the time, these grasslands are used as rangelands. Rangelands are unfenced grasslands in temperate and tropical climate that supply forage or vegetation for grazing and browsing animals like cattle, sheep, and goat. 42% of the world's grasslands are used this way since grasslands are renewable sources. But as the saying goes, anything that is too much is well too much. Grasslands can also be abused. Other than this can also lead to their overgrazing.
Overgrazing occurs when too many animals graze for too long and exceed its capacity of rangeland area. Overgrazing reduces grass cover, exposes soil to erosion by water and wind, enhances invasion by foreign species, and causes loss in productivity.
A way to protect undeveloped lands from exploitation is to legally set them aside as large area of undeveloped lands called the wilderness. I quote from Theodore Roosevelt, "Leave it as it is. You cannot improve it," unquote. But many people still believe that these areas are only being kept from being economically useful to today's people. One of the most urgent priorities is to protect biodiversity hotspots, since these hotspots house most of the world's species, from plants to animals, even the endangered ones.
34 global biodiversity hotspots are identified by biologists, and they are only a little more than 2% of the Earth's land surface. These hotspots are the home for 50% of the world's flowering plant species and 42% of all terrestrial vertebrates.
Everybody knows that the root causes of all these life-threatening disasters and calamities are not only concentrated by landform activities. Other than that, our bodies of water are also affected by human activities. Too much actually. That's why Mother Nature has decided to throw upon us the garbage that we once thrown at her faces.
We may not be aquatic species, but as the only rational beings living and breathing in the world we live in, we are responsible to sustain our aquatic biodiversity.
Just look at this beautiful body of water. This was once a very sought after beach. Even folks from different places come here, even foreigners. And now, it's like this beach was haunted. Why? The establishment of factories and shipping vessels are the main problems. The chemical waste they produce speedily in the body of water, destroying this once very lovable.
Everything on earth has its end. Aren't we gonna let our descendants see the beauty of this scenery? It doesn't take great people to do great things, just and selfish ones.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity. Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity. Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity. Protect Mother Earth and sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth.
Sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, 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 sustain biodiversity. Save Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity. Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth and sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth.
Save Mother Earth.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Protect Mother Earth, sustain biodiversity.
Save Mother Earth. Save the future generation.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing!
Isn't it majestic?
Majestic!
Isn't it fabulous?
Fabulous! Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Nakalimutan